introducing some new faces. So at present, whatever you have blamed, that was a problem of the past councillors and people. Now the new people has come. So
No, but basically the problem is the corporators need to be able to run the corporation with an independent mind. What is happening over the last decade is that Babush Munsurat is remote controlling the CCP. That is the reason the corporators cannot perform. In fact, in the last corporation, there were some very good corporators. If a person like Rahul Lotlekar was made the mayor, maybe he would have been able to contribute something to the city. But it is time and again that Babush Munsurat chooses who the mayor will be. So the corporators have no power to elect their mayor. This does not suit well in a democracy because it is for the corporators to sit and decide who amongst them will be the next mayor. But what has been happening is that Babush Munsurat decides that this is my man, and then he informs the corporators, this is my man, and he will be the mayor.
so
This cannot go on.
so you are fear that the same thing will replicate now also.
Of course, that is Babush Munsurat's style of functioning, which is in days like this when people look forward for development, people are not ready to take any nonsense from the authorities. People need to see a change, and that change, I think, this time will happen because people are very very angry at the way things are happening.
Just now you have spoken about the mayor. The past mayor Madagaikar has been uh, g- blessed by Babush.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to ask you, Babush has announced that he will be introducing all new faces. Here what he did, he sidelighted this fellow, Yatin Parekh. He put his son over there. But in case of Madkaikar, he already keep Madkaikar as it is. That means it is a clear indication that the coming to CCP also, Madkaikar will be the puppet of Babush. So how you are analyzing these things?
See, this is exactly what I'm saying. Babush Munsurat wants his puppet to be the mayor. So somebody who will do whatever he says, because we have seen over the last 10 years, the corporation of city of Panjim is not run from the office in Panjim, but it is run from Babush Munsurat's bungalow and office in Taligaon. This is totally not acceptable. So you need to have the most competent person amongst the corporators as the mayor so that he can lead the city. Unfortunately, Uday Madkaikar has been the mayor of the city of Panjim for the last 2 years. We have seen his disgraceful performance. The other problem is, I feel that, and this is what the Supreme Court feels, that people with criminal cases against them should not be in politics and should not be in public life. This is the view taken by the Supreme Court. Now, in this case, we have a mayor who has got serious criminal cases, including cases of cheating, pending against him in the courts of Panjim and other cases pending even in the High Court. Now, Babush Munsurat doesn't have a choice because if the MLA himself has criminal cases against him and serious criminal cases against him, how can he check on the criminal cases of the mayor? So and we all know who has been behind the big market scam, which has not been resolved till date. So many inquiries were announced. In fact, Manor Parikar, while as the leader of opposition, had said that the Panjim market is a multi-crore scam. An inquiry was appointed. The inquiry has been a detailed inquiry. One of the inquiries was done by uh, then collector Mr. Agarwal, and Agarwal has given a detailed report about the whole market scam and pointed fingers at who were behind this multi-crore scam, but nothing has been done. Now the irony is today is all the shops in the market. They have been for so many years, I think over 10 to 15 years, they are not paying a pie for water, electricity, or rent, and common members of the society have to pay to park their vehicles in the city. So, in fact, It is a matter of shame that Panjim is such a resourceful city. The coffers should have been full, but the coffers are empty.
पूर्वी
The
त्यांनी जो पंचनामा केला होता पणजी शहराबाबत आणि पणजीच्या मागील जे राजकारणी आहेत त्यांच्याबद्दल त्यांनी जे काय वक्तव्य केलं होतं आम्ही तेच पुढे धरून जाणार आहोत की पणजीची डेव्हलपमेंट म्हणा किंवा पणजी सिटीचा जो विकास होणार होता ह्याबद्दल काय घडलं आणि मला वाटतं आयरिश आम्हाला चांगल्या प्रकारे सांगू शकेल आयरिश वुड यू लाईक टू कॉमेंट्स अगेन ऑन द सेम इश्यू about the CCP and how the as you said that something about ward committees and illegalities in a Panjim. So what do you like to comment on this another?
See, the Corporation of Panjim of Act, the CCP Act, was enacted in 2002. There were reasons why the act was enacted. The act was enacted for the betterment of the city, but that has not been happening because the act needs to be amended because the act was enacted in a hurry and there are certain loopholes in the act which need to be cured by amending the act. Besides that, the act came into force in 2002. It's going to be almost 2 decades, and the CCP has not yet framed the bylaws. So that act is totally ineffective without the bylaws. So that has to be done. Besides that, Section 41 of the CCP Act mandates composition of ward committees comprising of experts from those wards. So the entire city of Panjim can have 7 ward committees which would cover all the 30 wards. So this has not been done for 18 years since the act was enacted. So last year I moved the High Court, and now finally the High Court directed the government to appoint this ward committees, to make sure the CCP appoints the ward committees in terms of the law. So now once this new corporators take office, which should be next month, I think their first priority would be to constitute these ward committees so that the ward committees comprising of experts oversees the development and the working of the city. So that is very important. So the entire city of Panjim can have 7 committees. So it may be one committee for 3, 4 wards. So the act requires that there should be continuity of the wards. So at the most, there can be 7 committees covering all the 30 wards, and these committees oversee the planning, see the expenditure being incurred, and to make sure either state funds or central funds, whatever funds are being spent by the CCP, are properly spent, because it's a matter of fact, and that every paisa spent from the taxpayer has to be judicially spent. Now, the CCP coffers are empty. The CCP has not been able to take care of Panjim's infrastructure. All that they are doing is just licensing construction of new buildings. We see year after year, before the monsoons, they say that the monsoon works have been done, the drains have been cleaned, but every monsoon we have flooding in the Panjim city. This is not acceptable. So Panjim had a glory. That glory needs to be restored by proper planning and making sure that the infrastructure takes care of Panjim and the residents of Panjim.
Besides that, in your view, what are the other issues of Panjim? See, the common issues, as everybody's spoken about, garbage issues, parking issues. Besides that, these are the this will be continued. I don't think these issues will be overcome by any of these people because they doesn't have absolutely doesn't have any vision. And where there is no vision, it is very difficult to be prospect themselves. So, what do you feel about another issues of Panjim? Every year we are listening that Santinez Nala. Every year you are listening about the casinos. So, what are your comments on this other?
See, the Santines Nala and the Ruadawaran Creek, these two need to be cleaned, and they can be used for tourism. They are lovely places. both these areas. So this has been promised time and over again. It is a real shame that the CCP thought of starting their garbage plant there at entrance of Panjim behind the Hira petrol pump amongst the mangroves. That is the last area the CCP should have gone to set up that garbage plant. This is totally unacceptable. So, over the years, the CCP has not thought of making provision of land for a proper garbage plant. And now they've been dumping garbage everywhere. So, besides this, Panjim needs to be a lively city, a livable city. The government can do a lot towards the heritage. Various parts of Panjim, Altino, Fontaine's part has certain unique heritage. So to encourage 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 tourism. And the other situation the government needs to focus is on the parking problem that the city of Panjim is. Babush Munsurat had assured in 2019 that he would remove the casinos from the river Mandovi if he was elected, that it would be done within 100 days. Now he says that he has studied the matter and it cannot be done. So my question to Babush Munsurat is, did you make that announcement without studying the issue? Did you want to take the people for granted? This is not acceptable. Every announcement made by any politician, because the common man in the past used to trust the word of the politician. Today, the people know that all promises made are false and fake. So there is a trust deficit of the common man with the politicians, whether they are in the ruling or in the opposition. And since Babush Munsurat had promised that it would be done in 100 days, he had no excuse because he is in the ruling party. And when he made this announcement, he was not yet elected an MLA. So he was asked the question that if you are in the opposition, will you be able to do? He said, I will do it by hook or crook. I know how to do it and I will do it. So that is 100 days, and today it's going to be 2 years, and these casinos are there because that much of congestion in the city of Panjim. You know, the people behind the post office, right up to Santome area and the Fontaine's area. You know, those areas are fully congested with vehicles connected to the casinos, and the other parts of Panjim are also congested with those vehicles. So those casinos had to be moved out of the remote Mandovi to restore some sanity in Panjim, because parking is a very big problem. And
When you are talking about the parking, there is a huge parking area has come up in just opposite that jetties. That is that area is not using at all. It's
yeah.
3-4 storied building. So this is the. Did you feel this is the wastage of public money?
See, this project, the multi-story parking, which was built at the entrance of Panjim. So it has not been used from day one. Crores of rupees have been invested on that. So because without proper application of mind, in fact, that is a wrong place for even to have a parking slot, because that is a congested area itself. So that is one wastage of money. At Miramar, in front of Sharda Mandir, they built that the overhead bridge, which was not used even for a day. So without proper planning, that is the reason. That is the reason I think these problems will be solved once we have ward committees of experts, because planning has to be done by planners, people experienced with planning. Planning cannot be done without their guidance. Finally, it is approved by the politicians, but there needs to be a guidance and feedback of what and how it is to be done by experts in that particular field. So hopefully, if we have these committees, the ward committees, that problem should be cured to some extent.
आताची जी निवडणूक आहे ती बीजेपी वर्सेस बीजेपी आहे का? त्यांचं याबाबतचं विश्लेषण काय असणार आहे? आयरिश किती दिसतं तुका? व्हॉट युअर इन युअर ओपिनियन?
See, the government has officially announced that these elections to the CCP are not being fought on party lines. But if you go to see, there is more than politics to the manner in which this whole election process and the election campaign has gone through. Now, BJP has uh, Babush Munsurat has put his panel. Now, his panel is basically his panel because uh, Babush Munsurat, as we know, he has joined and left every political party possible. I can't remember of a single political party that he has not joined. I think maybe Shiv Sena is the only party that Babush Munsirat has not joined. Now he's a sort of personality that will not be controlled by a discipline of any particular party, especially BJP, because the BJP is known for its discipline and its rigors. So I doubt whether Mr. Munsarat will last there too long. Now he has put up his panel, and in that panel there are some BJP candidates, but the hardcore BJP earlier corporators who were sidelined, they have been annoyed, and the rebel BJP candidates have formed their own panel along with the AAP and the Congress and the rest, and they have put a panel. Now, as far as Ribandar is concerned, we decided to, because we have now three wards, 28, 29, and 30. So we have put a panel of three, and let us see what the people decide. Now, the BJP, it is surprising. They say that the elections are not being fought on party lines, and yet the BJP has tried to silence its former MLA, Mr. Siddharth Kukolkar, from participating in the election process by supporting good candidates. They have even taken action against one of their senior leaders, Mr. Datta Prasad Naik, who was also supporting good candidates. So the BJP has to make this thing very clear, because it can't be the government's official stand that this election is not on party lines, and then they take action against senior members who try to involve themselves by supporting good candidates. In fact, I feel that elections to local bodies like panchayats and municipalities should never be fought on party lines. But that's the trend today. Now, I've contested elections while I was in college, and it was a total different ball game. Today, elections in the colleges and higher secondaries are being fought on party lines, which is a very bad signal going to the educational institutions. Because, but that's the way you go. But certain BJP leaders, action has been taken against them for, and there is a total discontent, because when I speak to staunch BJP supporters, they are very angry at the way the party has accepted Babush Munsurat in the party. Because if you see, Babush Munsurat contested the election in May of 2019. Now, I clearly remember the Chief Minister Pramod Sawant coming to even Ribandar and warning the people of Ribandar, please don't vote for Babush because he has got rape cases against him. The safety of your wives and your sisters will be at risk. Now, that is what nobody else said. The chief minister himself has said. He has said in Ribandar, he has said in meetings in Panjim. This was in May of 2019. Within 3 months, Babush Munsurat embraces the BJP and he's cleansed of all these sins. So, this is because, as they say, in politics, anything can happen, and Goa has been proved to be a laboratory for political experiments, and that we have seen over the years.
So fine, this is your vision about the entire Panjim, but as far as Raibandar is concerned, what will be your expectation and what will be your vision for that? What you are expecting?
See, Ribandar has been neglected for so many years. Our demands have been very limited. One is the setting up of the health center to take care of the health care needs of the people. We have been for decades now fighting for a football ground, market, which is and a community hall. We don't even have a garden. So all these are demands. In fact, all these demands about the market and the uh, thing was promised by Babush Munsalat in his 2016 manifesto. The football ground also in the 2016 CCP manifesto. So we are demanding all this. So we decided that we form this panel of three, which we have done. We've gone to the people. Let the people decide. I feel the people want a change. So let us wait till Monday and see the results.
लोकांना बदल हवाय, बदल घडेल असा विश्वास आयरिश रॉड्रिगीस यांना वाटतोय. येणारा काळच आम्हाला सांगणार आहे की नक्की कशा प्रकारचा बदल होणार आहे. पणजी महानगरपालिका कोणाच्या हातात जाणार आहे. तो तुर्तास आम्ही इथेच थांबणार आहोत. अपडेट राहण्यासाठी कुठे जाऊ नका, पाहत राहा इनोवाचा विशेष कार्यक्रम.